Hey, today we've got news about the latest Mage Order. We have successfully defended against one attack from the Automatons and their Jet Brigade. We'll also see what Arrowhead had to say about the Mage Orders. The community manager will inquire about content plans, and there's much more to discuss. As always, show your support by tapping the like button below at any point and subscribe with notifications turned on. Well, believe it or not, we actually held the line and defended Marfark successfully. I'm excited and quite surprised that we managed to do this. Yesterday, when I covered this topic, we had only 20,000 players, yet somehow we rallied an additional 30,000 players, bringing in enough Helldivers to fend off the Automatons and complete the Mage Order. Originally, I thought we were going to fail given our numbers and where the progress bar stood, but we pulled through surprisingly. The Helldivers we lost previously were definitely not in vain. We all stood our ground and pulled out a success. The message we received about the completion is quite interesting. We might see another future attack. Right here it says, after countless acts of heroic sacrifice, the advance of the Jet Brigade has at last been arrested. Many planets have been ravaged, Matar Bay, others. These atrocities will not be forgotten. The efforts of our heroes were not in vain. The Automatons' brutish ventures to discover the location of the DSS and its crucial substations has yielded nothing. The tireless defense of the Helldivers has maintained the concealment of our most critical weapon for now. The Jet Brigade remains a significant, albeit diminished, threat. We must remain ever vigilant against future attacks, but for now, Liberty has won a great victory. What I wonder is if we're all going to receive a special cape we have before when the whole situation unfolded on Malevolent Creek. The developers mentioned these atrocities will not be forgotten, so hopefully they will commemorate it and give us a special cape for the recent success. It would be cool to see something like that happen again. Also, they mentioned something about future attacks, so who knows, we could see a larger threat soon that's worse than what we've recently experienced. It'll be pretty cool to see where things go from here. Speaking of the Major Orders, the support team member gave word about the Major Orders and how they're determined. There's a player here on Reddit that basically asked if it matters at all, to which the Arrowhead support team member B Vitam responded back and said, the players determine how the galactic war unfolds. While we can make things easier or harder on the fly by adjusting some math or throwing curveballs, the success or failure of any MO is up to the players. We don't intentionally make any of that are completely impossible. Every Major Order has a different outcome, whether a success or a failure. We had to improvise a little before when something turned out to be successful when we thought it would fail. Even Meridia had a different outcome in mind for if the players didn't manage to destroy the planet. There's no fun in a story like this where everything is predetermined. While certain story beats are already planned out, how they unfold is up to the players. That's what makes it fun. Sure, we can choose whether players win or fail, but that's boring for everyone, devs included. So basically, we, the players, have the freedom to influence the story and its outcomes through our actions, which makes the gameplay unpredictable and fun, rather than everything being pre-decided by the game developers. He also mentioned that while certain parts of the story are planned, it's up to us how it develops over time. I think this is what makes Helldivers 2 an incredible game. We are actively creating the story through our actions and what happens during the Major Orders, whether the Major Order is a fail or a win. Next, the community manager responded to a Helldiver 2 moderator on the official Discord about future plans. The moderator's response was originally towards a player in the Discord that wanted more of a challenge and content, to which the moderator wrote this: anything after is now a mystery as we are past the 60-day plan, but I'm going by what was said by Twinbeard, in that now that a player level has been established, the devs can work with that to craft a better experience for players who want a challenge. It'll take time, but so does most things in life. The community manager saw the moderator's post and replied that he would try to get word about this, saying, well put and a fair summary of the topic at hand in my opinion. Since this is something a fair percentage wants to know more about, and since it hasn't been addressed in some time, I'll see if I can get an update about it. I'll be back. We can hopefully expect some news regarding this, as well as the Senator with its AP4. For those who might not know, there was a player on the Discord last time who inquired why the developers gave the Senator an AP4. The community manager responded then that he would, ask the developers about this, but we haven't heard back yet. As soon as I get any updates on both of these topics, I'll make sure to inform you all about what's happening. Also, he responded to a comment about the disconnection problems that popped up earlier this morning. If you saw something like this here, then just know it's been fixed. However, if there are ongoing issues, they'll look into it. In this post, he wrote this: "Yep, there was a small hiccup in connectivity, which is now fixed. Additionally, there may be also be thing for some with an error in or around the intro of the game. We're checking that at the moment. As always, great that you holler when something is amiss." Okay, that was a little rough to read. Well, it should be fixed by now, yet there might be still some ongoing issues with the connection. If you're still experiencing this, let me know in the comments. Now, continuing along, this is where I try out your loadout suggestions. We have 2 suggestions today I'll be taking a look at. The first one is by No More Rush 3118, and this fella recommended I try out the Juggernaut loadout. The primary can either be the explosive crossbow or the eruptor. I decided to use the eruptor since we had used it in another loadout previously, but that was on the terminate plants. I haven't used it on the bots since it was buffed, and it does an exceptional job on scout striders, enemies that are grouped together, and it can explode fabricators. The secondary is either the Senator or the Verdict. I decided to go with the Verdict because I believe you are able to carry more rounds, and it's great against rocket striders, jet brigaders, and all types of devastators. We've also got the stun grenade equipped to stun enemies, so we can use the eruptor or the recoilless rifle if it's a larger enemy like the Hulk. The stratagems we are using will be the recoilless rifle to destroy fabricators, hulks, tanks, turrets, dropships. I mean, what can this stratagem not do, right? It's incredible still. The second stratagem will be the rocket sentry, and it does wonders on tanks, enemies, and overall a solid choice for bots. The third stratagem on the list will be the orbital airburst that recently was buffed, and it's powerful when used on enemies that are grouped together. And last but not least, we've got the orbital walking barrage. That's a must on the highest difficulty due to its ability to send down missiles in a straight path, and it can destroy enemies and fabricators in the process. Overall, a solid loadout. I've been giving these loadout suggestions high scores as of late, the only reason being that you all have been recommending some crazy loadouts, and this one is amazing, so I'll give it 4.5 out of 5 golden medals. The second loadout suggestion I'm going to cover is by Jamie, and you recommended I try out your personal loadout with the crossbow. We all know it's good on scout striders, enemies grouped together, and can be used to blow up fabricators. The secondary is the Senator that can pierce through rocket striders, hulks, devastators, and more. We can't forget about grenades. This loadout uses thermites, which is good on hulks, fabricators, tanks, and turrets. We've also got the fortified armor passive for explosive damage resistance. For stratagems, we've got the guard dog, recently buffed to use the lib penetrator. It can cover us when things get sticky and against, many enemies like jet brigaders and devastators. The second stratagem is Eats to destroy hulks, tanks, fabricators. The third is 500 kg bomb, used by pretty much everyone for a good reason, to blow up fabricators, hulks, if it does hit right, enemies grouped together, tanks, and more. Last, the 380mm barrage is pretty effective on fabricators, enemies like rocket striders, hulks, and so on. My thoughts, great loadout since Senator destroys hulks easy, the thermites also good, more ways to blow up big enemies, and Eats is a cherry on top, great for all sorts of uses. Overall, an incredible loadout that saves you in a pinch every time. So much, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 general brass stars. This right here, hell of a loadout. Thanks to everyone who suggested loadouts last time. If you post again, you might get featured in the next video. Comment below, and yeah, I'll choose one by random using an app, or I'll pick it if it has a lot of upvotes. Alright, let's go over a few more hidden messages that can be found around the galaxy. I went over a few yesterday, so if you haven't watched that video, I highly suggest you do. The first datapad entry on the list is this one right here. Note to grave preparation specialist. Due to high hostile activity in the area, graves may be required to accommodate more personnel than usual. This one is interesting, so I believe they're pretty much going to have more bodies, which makes sense, right? Helldivers and whatnot die pretty often, and I would assume this is what that means. The second one is going to consist of a few messages because it's all of the forklift messages. Right here, this one says, do not operate without a ground guide. This forklift is the red blood cell of managed democracy, conveying vital necessities to wherever they are needed. A pair of safety goggles hanged by a strap, the frame spattered with blood. They seem to have failed their purpose. Okay, that's hilarious. Anyways, the next one is used to transport ore, modular dwellings, and dissident holding pins. But as I mentioned a few seconds ago, this right here, these should be all of the forklift messages, but I will try to update you guys on more of these messages if I do find some. Next, we have 2 greenhouse messages. This one says, in the abundant garden of flora native to the super Earth, liberty has taken root on an alien planet. Next, greenhouse type 203. A frantic final harvest appears to have been attempted during evacuation. And those, you could find these messages where the little small greenhouses, you should be able to locate them easily. They're found in most planets, but yeah, that right there, interesting. Continuing along, right here we have the Case of Democracy Drafts Premium Light Beer. Please refrain from operating heavy machinery while consuming this beverage. Not only do we have that one, but there's also a vending machine that says offerings include Dr. Democracy, Mr. Taste, Professor Delicious, and Yum-esque. What I would like to see at some point, which I think would be pretty cool, is to actually go to these vending machines and you can interact with them and they'll give you like a small boost. Maybe just place them randomly on planets so that they're not found as often, so it's like super rare to find and it can boost certain stats or certain things. At least I think that would be pretty cool. And last but not least, for messages, we have despotic explosives. The voltage of these batteries has been temporarily saved from being yoked to the expansion of the automaton menace. There we go. Those are all the messages that I've been able to screen capture or screenshot or whatnot. If you guys would like to see more of these messages, let me know down below and I will try to find more and I can update you guys on it. The next thing I'd like to bring up is that we've got a new dispatch and it's a system notification. If you haven't seen this, right here, this image, this is what it relates to. So the dispatch says, system notification. Some galactic map users may have observed the apparent presence of enemy forces occupying dozens of planets. This issue was due to an unconcerning software glitch that has since been rectified. This experience may have been given rise to some uncomfortable feelings such as concern, terror, or abject despair. Distressed users are advised to visualize relaxing images such as a fluttering super Earth flag, a filled out ballot, the inevitable destruction of freedom's enemy, or enemies. This dispatch update, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, is all due to this issue right here, where there was like dozens of warships like surrounding the whole entire map. It was just something I wasn't expecting. I even titled the thumbnail as it because really I wasn't expecting it. Lastly in this video, I have to show you a real detail on the mines that's true at least in the Helldivers 2 universe, where children are deemed perfectly suitable to mess with landmines. Here's an image by this player named Night Night Light, and this is what the mine says in the game. Explosive material, live ammunition, caution, use at your own risk, may cause severe injury and death. Do not give to children under the age of 12. What? What is going on here? This is insane. So yeah, I couldn't believe it, but that's bonkers that they can mess around with a landmine at the age of 13. However, if you're 12, you're not allowed to. What an insane universe Helldivers 2 is. With all the information being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below. The first comment is by Wes Shoeiz 1325. Launches a giant rocket to nuke bots. Bots, I sleep. Places a flag. Bots, real shiz. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, definitely check it out because Raise the Flag mission is quite bugged, and this is what this player is referring to. The second comment is by Tamaichi12. After the first 60-day patch, the Raise the Super Flag mission got really crowded when you were doing the mission. Enemies will always spawn non-stop. This commenter is not kidding at all because if you haven't already, try out Raise the Flag mission and you'll notice how hectic it can be. Last but not least, we have J Smith U5I. I'm going to laugh so hard if we eventually have to fight bots and bugs on the same planet. The bug divers will be so salty. This is what I hope because it would be so cool. You can actually have some different type of gameplay, right? There's going to be bots, there's going to be bugs. It would be awesome. I think it would be the best way to kind of mix things up. If you feel differently about that, you can let me know, but I think it would be pretty cool. Well, there you go, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you want to, definitely subscribe, turn on notifications as well, and give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one.